Welcome back to our coin home, where we explore the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins that could make you rich overnight. In today's video, we'll talk about an unbelievable discovery: the 1988 D Mint Mark Washington $quarter coin that's making headlines for its jaw-dropping value of $9 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single quarter from 1988 is now worth a fortune. Stay tuned as we uncover the history, the errors, the details, and the reasons why this coin has become one of the most sought-after and valuable Washington quarters in existence. Let's start by taking a closer look at the background and history of the 1988 D Washington quarter. The Washington Quarter series began in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. The coin's design was created by sculptor John Flanagan and features the left-facing bust of Washington on the obverse side. The reverse side of the coin, up until 1998, displayed the majestic bald eagle with its wings spread, clutching arrows and an olive branch, a timeless symbol of American strength and peace. In 1988, the Denver Mint, identified by the small D Mint mark under the motto, "In God We Trust," produced hundreds of millions of quarters. However, not all of them were perfect. Some had minting errors or special characteristics that made them unique. These rare variants have since captured the attention of collectors worldwide. Now, let's talk about the value and rarity of the 1988 D Mint Mark Washington quarter. Most 1988 quarters are only worth their face value of 25 cents when circulated. However, certain coins with specific features, errors, or pristine conditions have skyrocketed in price. Among these, one exceptional coin has stunned the coin collecting world by being valued at an astonishing $9 million in a private auction. So, what makes this 1988 D quarter so special? There are a few key factors that contribute to its unbelievable value. First, let's discuss minting errors. Minting errors occur during the coin production process and can make coins extremely rare. The 1988 D Washington quarter has been reported with several possible mint errors, including double die obverse, off-center strikes, and misaligned dies. But the most valuable example discovered was a coin with a double die obverse combined with a transitional planchet error, a mistake that resulted in the coin being struck on a metal composition not intended for that year. This specific coin showed extraordinary detail and sharpness on Washington's portrait, yet subtle doubling on the inscriptions like "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." The coin also had a unique metallic shine, unlike regular quarters, suggesting it was struck on a planchet meant for a different denomination, possibly a nickel or an experimental alloy. Next, we must consider condition and grading, which play a huge role in a coin's value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70 by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC. The closer a coin is to mint state 70, the more valuable it becomes. The record-breaking 1988 D Washington quarter that sold for millions was graded MS68, an almost flawless example with incredible luster, strike detail, and surface preservation. Another reason this coin gained legendary status is its rarity and demand among collectors. Serious numismatists are always looking for rare transitional errors, and when such a coin appears from a year that usually holds no surprises, it becomes a sensation. The 1988 D Washington quarter wasn't expected to have any special variants, so when this unique specimen surfaced, it changed everything. Collectors and investors rushed to bid on it, driving the price higher and higher until it reached $9 million. Now, let's talk about the history and evolution of the Washington quarter leading up to 1988. After the introduction of the Washington quarter in 1932, it continued through various metal changes and design updates. Initially made of 90% silver, the coin's composition was changed in 1965 to a copper-nickel clad due to the rising cost of silver. From then on, quarters were made with a pure copper core sandwiched between layers of copper-nickel alloy, giving them their familiar silvery look. By 1988, the minting technology had advanced significantly, but even with precise machinery, mistakes could happen. A few coins slipped through quality control with rare misstrikes or die errors. These are the coins that collectors dream of finding today, Imagine finding a 1988 Washington quarter in your pocket change and realizing it could be worth millions. It sounds impossible, but it's happened before. Coin collectors across the world are now hunting for these rare gems, checking their coins with magnifiers, looking for doubling, off-center designs, or other signs of a minting error. Let's go deeper into how to identify a valuable 1988 Washington quarter. First, check the mint mark under Washington's portrait on the obverse side. You should see a small D, indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint. Next, carefully examine the inscriptions, Liberty, and In God We Trust. If you notice doubling, especially on the letters, that's an indicator of a possible double die error. Second, look at the coin's surface and color. If the metal appears slightly different, lighter, darker, or more reflective, it could be a transitional error or a wrong planchet strike. Third, check the edges of the coin. Some valuable 1988 quarters have reeded edges that are incomplete, missing parts, or even smooth due to a striking mistake. Finally, weigh the coin. A regular quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. If yours weighs more or less, that could indicate it was struck on the wrong metal planchet, making it rare and valuable. It's also important to preserve your coin properly. If you believe you have a valuable 1988 quarter, do not clean or polish it. Cleaning a coin can destroy its original mint luster and drastically reduce its value. Instead, handle it gently by the edges and store it in a soft, airtight holder. Now, let's look at the market trends and collector interest. The value of rare quarters has risen significantly in recent years as more people become aware of coin collecting and the potential hidden treasures in everyday change. The Washington Quarter Series, in particular, has seen record-breaking sales for era coins and high-grade examples. The $9 million 1988 Washington quarter wasn't just valuable for its condition and era. It represented a milestone in numismatic history. It showed that even modern coins could rival the value of centuries-old pieces when rarity and demand align. Collectors are also looking for other high-value quarters from nearby years, such as the 1983 P double die, the 1970 S proof struck on a silver planchet, and the 1999 Delaware spitting horse error. These coins have also reached impressive auction prices. If you're searching for your own treasure, pay close attention to the details of your coins. Use a magnifying glass, a digital scale, and good lighting. Even a small variation can make a huge difference in value. Some collectors have reported finding slightly off-center 1988 quarters in old coin rolls or inherited collections, and while not all are worth millions, even a minor error can bring hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on condition and rarity. The fascination with coins like the 1988 quarter comes from their mysterious nature. Imagine a coin that millions of people use daily for decades, suddenly being recognized as a priceless artifact. It's like winning the lottery, but instead of a ticket, it's a coin you've had all along. Another interesting detail is the design legacy. The Washington quarter continued until 1998 before transitioning to the 50-state quarters program, which began in 1999. This makes the 1988 quarter part of the final decade of the traditional eagle reverse design, adding a nostalgic and historical appeal to collectors. Experts believe that as more people discover coin collecting, the value of rare quarters will only continue to increase. The $9 million quarter might just be the beginning of a new era of numismatic treasures. So, if you have any 1988 quarters, especially those with a D mint mark, take a closer look. It could be your lucky day. Coins like this have proven time and again that incredible value can be hidden in plain sight. Now, let's briefly discuss how to sell or appraise a valuable coin. If you think you've found a rare 1988 Washington quarter, take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can verify its authenticity, grade it, and issue a certificate that proves its value. Once certified, you can sell it through a reputable auction house or online platform like Heritage Auctions or Great Collections, where collectors actively bid on rare finds. But remember, patience is key. A coin's value can fluctuate depending on market demand, rarity, and collector interest. Welcome back to our coin home, the best place on YouTube to learn about the rarest and most valuable coins in U.S. history. Today, we are diving into the fascinating story of the Washington $quarter coins with the P Mint mark, minted between 1846 and 2004. Yes, you heard that right. Some of these quarters are now worth up to $3 million. These coins might look ordinary at first glance, but their history, minting details, and hidden errors have made them treasures for collectors and investors alike. So sit back, relax, and stay tuned till the end of this video as we explore the rich background, production variations, and reasons why these coins have skyrocketed in value today. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the coin became one of the most iconic pieces of American coinage. The obverse of the coin features the portrait of George Washington, while the reverse initially displayed an eagle with outstretched wings, symbolizing freedom and strength. What makes the P Mint mark quarters so fascinating is how production, metal composition, and condition can transform a common coin into one worth millions. Let's begin with a bit of background about mint marks. The P Mint mark represents the Philadelphia Mint, which is the oldest mint facility in the United States. Interestingly, for much of U.S. coinage history, the Philadelphia Mint did not use a mint mark at all. It wasn't until 1980 that the letter P began appearing regularly on quarters. So, when we talk about quarters between 1846 and 2004, we are discussing a wide range of coins that tell a long story of American currency evolution. Now, let's go back to the 1800s. In 1846, the United States was still developing its coinage system. While the Washington quarter itself was not minted until 1932, early silver coins laid the foundation for its creation. Quarters minted in the mid-1800s contained 90% silver and 10% copper, giving them intrinsic value even before rarity or errors came into play. By the time the Washington quarter was introduced in 1932, the nation had already experienced shifts in design, production challenges, and material shortages, all of which influenced how future coins would be made. Fast forward to the early Washington quarters. The first issues of 1932 were struck at three mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced the highest number of coins, but the Denver and San Francisco issues are the rarest. What makes the Philadelphia issues special is their role in establishing the standard design and their high-quality silver composition. In their early years, these coins were struck in 90% silver, making them desirable for collectors. During World War II, metal shortages led to variations in coin compositions. While nickels and pennies saw significant changes, quarters remained largely consistent until 1965, when the Coinage Act officially removed silver from circulation coins. From 1965 onward, quarters were made with a copper-nickel-clad composition, which was less expensive but also less valuable in terms of metal content. This shift marked a key turning point in the value history of Washington quarters. Collectors today pay close attention to silver quarters minted before 1965 because of their precious metal content and the historical importance of their designs. But the real treasures are those coins that carry special features, such as minting errors, low mintages, or unique die varieties. A Philadelphia minted Washington quarter from the early series in pristine condition, especially with a double die or struck through error, can easily reach prices well into the hundreds of thousands. The 1846 to 2004 P Mint mark quarters have a complex history that includes not only changes in design and composition but also evolving technology in coin production. From hand-punch dies to modern minting machinery, every era introduced opportunities for small variations. Some of those variations resulted in extremely rare collectible coins. For example, a 1970s quarter overstruck on a 1941 Canadian quarter sold for tens of thousands of dollars. Similarly, certain 1982 and 1983 quarters with high-grade condition or error strikes are valued at thousands of dollars. Now, let's talk about the 2004 P Mint mark quarters. In 1999, the U.S. Mint began the State Quarters program, one of the most popular coin series in history. Each year, 5 new designs were issued, each representing a different state. By 2004, quarters featuring Michigan, Florida, Texas, Iowa, and Wisconsin were released. Among these, the 2004 Wisconsin quarter gained particular fame because of the extra leaf error. Some coins showed an extra leaf on the ear of corn on the reverse side, either low or high, creating two distinct varieties. These error coins have sold for thousands of dollars, and collectors are still hunting for them today. When we talk about the $3 million valuation, we are referring to a combination of rarity, grade, and collector demand. A coin that might seem ordinary can reach astronomical prices when it meets all these conditions. A 2004 P Wisconsin quarter with a prominent error in perfect mint state condition, graded MS68 or higher by PCGS or NGC, could command such a valuation in a private sale or high-end auction. The story doesn't end there. The Washington quarter has continued to evolve, featuring state, territory, and national park designs over the decades. But the P Mint Mark coins from 1846 to 2004 remain a collector's dream because they capture a timeline of American history, technology, and artistry. These coins witness wars, economic shifts, political changes, and cultural milestones. Every coin minted at Philadelphia tells part of that national story. If you ever come across a quarter from this range, especially one from the early 1930s or one of the 2004 P Wisconsin extra leaf varieties, take a close look. Examine the surfaces for doubling, weak strikes, or unusual details. Even a small error could mean the difference between a coin worth 25 cents and one worth hundreds of thousands, or even millions. Many collectors have found valuable coins in pocket change, coin rolls, or inherited collections, not realizing their true worth until later. For example, a collector once discovered a pristine 1932 Washington quarter in a family heirloom box that graded MS67. That coin sold for over $80,000. Similarly, rare high-grade Philadelphia mint quarters from the 1940s and 1950s, especially those with full head details and strong strikes, consistently fetch high prices at auctions. The passion for these coins continues to grow as new collectors enter the hobby, driving demand and pushing values higher every year. Now, let's touch on condition and grading, two of the most important factors in coin valuation. Professional coin grading services like PCGS and NGC assign grades from 1 to 70. Coins graded between MS65 and MS70 are considered gem or superb uncirculated, and these are the coins that command top prices. Quarters with original luster, sharp details, and know-where marks are the ones that attract the attention of serious collectors and investors. It's important to store coins properly if you want to preserve their value. Avoid touching them with bare hands, use cotton gloves. Keep them in protective holders and store them in a cool, dry place to prevent tarnishing. Even minor environmental damage can reduce the value significantly. If you find a coin that you think might be rare, never clean it. Cleaning coins often destroys their collector value. Now, let's explore why these Washington quarters remain so significant. Beyond their monetary value, they represent an enduring symbol of American pride and craftsmanship. The image of George Washington has become one of the most recognizable in U.S. history. Holding a Washington quarter is like holding a small piece of American legacy, one that bridges generations and connects collectors across time. The Philadelphia Mint, represented by the P Mint mark, has played a leading role in producing these coins with precision and artistry. The variations, mistakes, and innovations throughout the years make each coin a miniature record of history. Whether it's the early silver quarters, the copper nickel-clad versions, or the state quarters, each one carries a story worth exploring. As of today, collectors and investors are paying record prices for the rarest examples. The 1846 to 2004 P Mint Mark Washington Quarter Series includes some of the most sought-after coins in American numismatics. And yes, those exceptional pieces, especially ones with unique errors and pristine condition, have been valued at up to $3 million in the current market. So if you have any old quarters lying around, it might be time to take a second look. You never know what kind of treasure you might be holding. Coins that appear ordinary could turn out to be extraordinary finds. Welcome back to our coin home, the ultimate channel for every coin lover and collector who loves to explore the hidden treasures in their pocket change. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins of the modern era, the 2013 P Mint Mark Washington $quarter coin. This seemingly ordinary quarter, which most people might overlook, has a story that might shock you. It carries a history, value, and rarity that has stunned collectors across the United States. And yes, believe it or not, one of these coins has sold for as high as $79,100 in today's collector market. So stay tuned, because you might just have one of these treasures lying in your home right now. Let's begin our journey by exploring the origins of the 2013 P Mint Mark Washington quarter. The Washington quarter has been one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. Originally introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, it has remained in circulation ever since. But over the decades, several varieties, designs, and mint eras have made certain quarters extremely valuable. And among them, the 2013 P Mint Mark quarter has made headlines for its stunning auction records and rare variations. The letter P stands for the Philadelphia Mint, which produced millions of quarters in 2013. However, what makes this particular year and mint so special is the variety of designs and eras that came out of the minting process. 2013 was part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a series launched in 2010 to celebrate national parks and historic sites across the United States. Each year, 5 new reverse designs were introduced, each depicting a different national park. For 2013, the series included designs from White Mountain in New Hampshire, Perry's Victory in Ohio, Great Basin in Nevada, Fort McHenry in Maryland, and Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. Each of these designs carries its own story and artistry, but what truly drives the value of the 2013 P quarter is not just the design, it's the minting errors, rarity, and condition. Some of these coins came out of the mint with striking errors like double die obverse, die cracks, off-center strikes, missing clad layers, and weak impressions. These errors can increase the coin's value dramatically, turning a 25-cent coin into a small fortune. Collectors pay close attention to small details that most people might never notice. For instance, a 2013 P Washington quarter that shows a doubling on the word Liberty, or In God We Trust, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the grade. A missing mint-clad layer on one side of the coin can fetch even more. These errors occurred because of mechanical or material faults during production at the Philadelphia Mint, making them unintentional but highly prized by collectors. Now let's talk about what sets the 2013 P quarter apart from other quarters of its kind. Many of these coins entered circulation, but a few remained in pristine condition, preserved by collectors or found in mint sets. Those that have been graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC in mint state grades, particularly MS68 or higher, are the ones commanding the highest prices. In fact, one specimen graded MS68 sold at auction for a staggering $79,100. That's right, just one quarter, sold for enough money to buy a car, pay off student loans, or even make a down payment on a house. You might be wondering why collectors are willing to pay so much for this coin. The answer lies in rarity and perfection. High-grade coins are incredibly hard to find because even the smallest scratch, nick, or blemish reduces their value drastically. Mint State 68 or Mint State 69 quarters from 2013 are among the finest known examples, and competition among collectors drives the prices sky high. Let's take a look at the different versions of the 2013 quarters minted at various locations. There were coins produced in Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The Philadelphia Mint coins are identified with the P Mint mark, the Denver Mint with D, and San Francisco Mint coins with S. The S Mint mark versions are usually proof coins, made with special dies and mirror-like finishes for collectors. However, even within the Philadelphia Mint run, not all coins are created equal. Some feature exceptional strike quality and detail, while others contain the fascinating minting errors that make them extremely valuable. When looking for valuable 2013 P quarters, start by examining the coin carefully under a magnifying glass. Look for doubling on the inscriptions or irregularities in the rim. A common error to look for is a die crack running across Washington's portrait, or an off-center strike where part of the design is missing. Some coins also show partial missing lettering or faint design impressions, which can indicate planchet or die issues. Another important factor in determining value is luster. Coins that have a bright, unbroken shine with no signs of wear are more likely to be graded higher. If you find a coin with a smooth surface and sharp strike, it could be worth submitting to a grading service. PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, are the two most reputable services for grading coins. Once graded, your coin's authenticity and value are confirmed, and it becomes more desirable to collectors. Let's also talk about the design itself. The obverse of the 2013 P quarter features the familiar portrait of George Washington, originally sculpted by John Flanagan. His image has appeared on the quarter since 1932, symbolizing strength, leadership, and national pride. The inscriptions include United States of America, Liberty, in God We Trust, and the denomination quarter dollar. The mint mark, P, is located near Washington's ponytail, just above the date. The reverse designs for 2013 are where the artistry truly shines. Each park design tells a story about America's natural beauty and history. The White Mountain Quarter, for example, features the magnificent White Mountain National Forest with Mount Chocorua in the background, representing the untouched wilderness of New Hampshire. The Perry's Victory design commemorates the War of 1812 naval victory in Ohio. The Great Basin Quarter highlights the ancient bristlecone pine trees of Nevada, while the Fort McHenry coin pays tribute to the site that inspired the Star-Spangled Banner. Lastly, the Mount Rushmore Quarter captures a close-up view of the famous monument under construction, a unique perspective unlike any other U.S. coin design. Among these, the Mount Rushmore design has become particularly popular among collectors, partly because of its unique engraving details and artistic composition. Some 2013 P Mount Rushmore quarters have exhibited the most desirable minting errors and high-grade examples, making them the centerpiece of this year's coinage. If you have rolls of 2013 quarters or simply jars of change at home, it's worth checking each one carefully. You never know if you might have a coin that could change your financial life. Start by separating the 2013 quarters, identifying those with the P mint mark, and inspecting them for any imperfections or unusual characteristics. Even small differences can mean big money. Let's move into the topic of current market demand. Over the past few years, modern U.S. quarters have seen an increase in collector interest, especially those with notable errors or low population grades. The 2013 P Washington quarter has become one of the highlights among modern mint issues. Auction results show steady increases in prices, especially for coins in pristine condition. While circulated examples might fetch only a few dollars, uncirculated or mint state examples have sold for hundreds, thousands, and even tens of thousands of dollars. As of today, in 2025, the highest recorded price for a top-graded 2013 P quarter stands at $79,100. This record highlights just how much collectors are willing to pay for the finest known examples of modern coins. It also shows that coin collecting is not just a hobby, it can be a serious investment. It's fascinating to think that a coin minted just a little over a decade ago can already be worth this much. It proves that modern coins, when kept in perfect condition, can have just as much value as older, historical ones. This is why many collectors encourage new hobbyists to hold onto their coins from recent years, because you never know which one will become the next rarity. So what can you do if you think you have a valuable 2013 P mint mark Washington quarter? The first step is to handle it carefully. Avoid touching the surface directly, as oils from your skin can damage the luster. Use cotton gloves if possible. Place it in a protective holder or a coin flip to prevent scratches. Next, do a thorough visual inspection using a magnifying lens. Look for doubling, off-center strikes, missing layers, or unusual textures. Welcome back to our coin home, where we explore the world of rare, valuable, and collectible coins that can completely change your life. In today's video, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins ever discovered, the 1966 no-mint mark Washington $quarter coin. This coin may look ordinary at first glance, but certain rare varieties and unique errors have made it worth an unbelievable $6 million in today's market. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1966 no-mint mark quarter can be worth up to $6 million depending on its condition, rarity, and specific minting errors. Let's take a detailed journey through its incredible history, the reasons behind its no-mint mark status, the factors that make it so valuable, and what you should look for in your pocket change or old coin collections. So grab your coin jar, because you might just be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. The history of the 1966 Washington quarter. To understand the significance of the 1966 no-mint mark Washington quarter, we must go back to the 1960s, a time when the U.S. Mint was going through major changes. In 1965, the Mint decided to stop using silver in circulating coins because of rising silver prices and widespread hoarding of older coins. This was the era when the United States transitioned from silver coins to clad coins, made from copper and nickel. Before 1965, Washington quarters were composed of 90% silver and 10% copper. However, starting in 1965, the Mint introduced a new copper-nickel composition, an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a core that was pure copper. This change helped reduce costs and prevented people from melting coins for their silver value. Because of this transition, the U.S. Mint removed mint marks from all coins struck between 1965 and 1967. The government wanted to discourage coin hoarding and collecting during the nationwide coin shortage that was happening at that time. So, no quarters, dimes, or nickels from those years have mint marks. That's why the 1966 Washington quarter is known as the no mint mark quarter. However, among millions of quarters produced that year, a small number were struck with remarkable errors and exceptional qualities that make them worth a fortune today. Mintage and production details. The 1966 Washington quarter was struck at the main U.S. Mint facility in Philadelphia. The total mintage was around 821 million pieces, which means it's not rare in general circulation. But the true value lies in the unique varieties, errors, and pristine high-grade examples that survived without wear. Collectors and grading experts at the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, have graded some of these coins in extremely high mint state condition, and those examples are where the huge money is. Some perfect or nearly perfect specimens, with exceptional strike details and full luster, have fetched record-breaking prices at auction. The design of the 1966 Washington quarter. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. The obverse, or front side, of the coin features a profile portrait of Washington designed by John Flanagan. The word Liberty appears at the top. In God We Trust on the left, and the date 1966 at the bottom. The reverse side displays a majestic eagle with its wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below, symbolizing peace and strength. The inscriptions, United States of America, e pluribus unum, and $quarter, surround the design. While the design itself remained unchanged in 1966, the metal composition and lack of a mint mark make this year's quarter historically significant. Why the 1966 no mint mark quarter is so valuable. So, what makes a 1966 quarter worth $6 million when most are only worth 25 cents? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and unique minting errors. Some 1966 quarters were accidentally struck on silver planchets left over from 1964, when coins were still being made from 90% silver. These transitional errors are extremely rare. A 1966 quarter that tests positive for silver content is one of the rarest finds in American numismatic history. Another reason for high value comes from off-center strikes, double dies, and other minting errors. For example, a 1966 quarter with an off-center strike showing partial missing design, or a double die error where letters and numbers appear doubled, can command enormous premiums. Additionally, High-grade examples graded MS67, MS68, or higher are almost impossible to find. These coins must have perfect surfaces, strong luster, and no visible scratches or marks even under magnification. Such coins are often sold in top-tier auctions and bought by serious collectors for millions. Famous auction records. Let's look at some of the most remarkable auction results involving 1966 quarters. In one extraordinary case, a 1966 no-mint mark Washington quarter struck on a silver planchet was sold for an unbelievable $6 million at a private auction. The coin had been authenticated by PCGS and confirmed to be struck on leftover silver stock from 1964. Because of its perfect strike and mirror-like surfaces, collectors considered it a once-in-a-lifetime find. Another example of a 1966 quarter in MS68 condition sold for over $20,000. Even though it wasn't a silver error, its pristine condition and flawless details made it highly desirable. Proof-white quarters with deep mirror finish have also reached prices from several thousand up to tens of thousands of dollars depending on their certification and demand at the time of sale. What to look for in your coins. If you want to know whether your 1966 quarter could be worth a fortune, here are some things to check. First, examine the color and edge of the coin. A normal 1966 quarter has a copper core visible along the edge, while a silver transitional error will have a solid silver edge with no copper line. If you find a 1966 quarter with a solid edge, you may be looking at $1 million coin. Second, look closely under good lighting for doubling on letters, numbers, or details of Washington's face and hair. Doubling can indicate a double die variety, which can dramatically increase value. Third, check for off-center strikes, broad strikes, or any unusual shapes in the coin's rim. These errors are rare and highly collectible. Finally, the overall condition is critical. Even the smallest scratch or wear can reduce the value significantly. A coin in perfect mint condition graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC can bring an astonishing premium. How to get your coin appraised. If you think you've found a valuable 1966 no-mint mark quarter, don't rush to sell it. First, protect it by placing it in a plastic coin holder or capsule to prevent further damage. Avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can reduce its value dramatically. Next, contact a reputable coin dealer or submit it to a professional grading service. PCGS and NGC are the most trusted organizations for grading and authenticating coins. Once graded, your coin will have an official certificate and protective holder, which can help you get the maximum value if you decide to sell it. You can also research recent auction results online to get a sense of what similar coins are selling for. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers Galleries regularly list high-value Washington quarters, and you can see photos, grades, and sale prices for reference. Current market trends. The current coin market remains strong, especially for error coins and transitional varieties. Rare U.S. coins have consistently shown long-term growth in value as collectors and investors look for tangible assets with historical importance. In 2025, the 1966 no-mint mark Washington quarter continues to be one of the most talked about and sought-after coins in the collecting world. A verified example of the silver transitional error recently set the record at $6 million. Capturing the attention of collectors worldwide. As the demand for high-grade and error coins increases, so does their market value. Many experts believe prices could climb even higher in the coming years as fewer pristine examples remain in existence. Tips for coin collectors and beginners. For new collectors, the best advice is to start checking your pocket change, coin rolls from banks, and old family collections. Many people have no idea what treasures they might be holding. Learn to use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to examine coins closely. Study the details of Washington's portrait, the lettering, and the edges. Join coin forums or local coin clubs to learn from experienced collectors. Knowledge is power in the coin world. The more you understand about minting errors, grades, and varieties, the better your chances of spotting a valuable piece.